The puzzle of toxic attraction. Why are we sometimes drawn to people who are ultimately bad for us? Have you ever found yourself inexplicably attracted to someone despite clear warning signs? Or watched a friend or family member repeatedly choose partners who bring them pain? The psychology behind toxic attraction is complex, involving interconnected patterns in our brain that influence who we're drawn to. Several key psychological factors play important roles in toxic attraction, including our familiarity with unhealthy patterns, attachment styles formed in childhood, and issues related to self worth. When we explore attraction, we find it's influenced by multiple factors, some healthy and others potentially leading us toward harmful relationships. It's important to distinguish between healthy attraction, based on mutual respect and growth, and toxic attraction, which often creates anxiety and emotional instability. Toxic relationships often follow predictable cycles, moving from periods of intense attraction and intimacy to conflict and anxiety. Recognizing the signs of unhealthy relationships and understanding patterns of power and control are crucial first steps in breaking free from toxic attraction. Throughout this video, we'll explore the psychology behind toxic attraction patterns, helping you recognize red flags early, break unhealthy cycles, and build healthier relationship skills. Understanding why we're drawn to toxic relationships is the first step toward making healthier choices. Let's begin this journey together. Familiarity plays a powerful role in our attraction patterns. Our brains are wired to seek what feels familiar, even when those patterns are unhealthy. These patterns form through neural pathways in our brain that develop based on repeated experiences, especially during childhood. We naturally gravitate toward our comfort zone, even if what feels comfortable isn't actually healthy for us. The paradox is that unhealthy patterns can feel safe simply because they're familiar. Our brain interprets familiarity as safety. Our early attachment experiences shape what feels normal in relationships. These patterns get encoded in our brain's understanding of connection. Childhood emotional patterns become familiar templates for adult relationships. For example, a child who learned their needs don't matter may unconsciously seek partners who neglect their emotional needs. There's also a brain chemistry component to this comfort with the unhealthy. Familiar relationship patterns, even toxic ones, activate predictable neural pathways and can trigger dopamine release. Our brain associates familiarity with safety, regardless of whether the pattern is actually good for us. Breaking unhealthy patterns requires recognizing them first, then consciously creating new, healthy experiences. It's important to practice mindfulness about the difference between what feels comfortable and what's actually healthy. Be patient, as your brain needs time to form new associations. The first step to changing unhealthy relationship patterns is recognizing your brain's natural tendency toward the familiar. Awareness is the foundation of transformation. Unresolved childhood issues profoundly shape our adult relationships, creating patterns that echo throughout our lives. Our earliest relationships, particularly with our caregivers, form the blueprint for how we relate to others. These attachment patterns become the foundation for our adult relationships. Childhood trauma, whether overt or subtle, can manifest in various ways during adulthood, often without our conscious awareness. Many adults carry signs of repressed childhood trauma without realizing it. These can include trust issues, black and white thinking, and various physical and mental health conditions that affect how we form and maintain relationships. The dynamics of our family of origin fundamentally shape our understanding of relationships and our role within them. Family dynamics establish our earliest understanding of roles, expectations, and emotional exchanges. How we were treated in our family becomes our template for future relationships. Secure attachment forms when caregivers consistently respond to a child's needs, while inconsistent or neglectful care can lead to insecure attachment. Recent research highlights that both maternal and paternal relationships contribute to our attachment style. How we're parented directly influences our expectations in romantic relationships. Unresolved childhood issues can lead us into cycles of toxic relationships that mirror our earliest experiences. Adults who experienced emotional turbulence in childhood may unconsciously seek or create similar dynamics in their adult relationships, perpetuating cycles of toxicity that feel strangely familiar. Healing from childhood wounds is possible and can transform our capacity for healthy relationships. Healing begins with awareness of our patterns. By processing our childhood experiences and learning new relationship skills, we can break free from recreating the past and build healthier connections. By understanding how our past shapes our present relationships, we gain the power to make conscious choices rather than unconsciously repeating old patterns. Fear of being alone is one of the most powerful drivers that keeps people trapped in toxic relationships. This fear is primal and deeply rooted in our psychology. As social beings, we're hardwired to seek connection, and the prospect of being alone can trigger powerful emotional responses. Many people caught in toxic relationships are trapped in what psychologists call a cycle of abandonment. Past experiences shape our fears and behaviors, creating patterns that can be difficult to break. When we fear being alone, we often settle for relationships that don't meet our needs. We might accept poor treatment, overlook red flags, or stay with someone despite feeling unhappy or unsafe. Learning to distinguish between healthy and unhealthy relationships is crucial. Healthy relationships enhance our lives and support our growth, while unhealthy ones drain us and reinforce our deepest insecurities. Ironically, many people feel most alone while in toxic relationships. Though physically with someone, emotional isolation can be profound. The presence of another person doesn't guarantee genuine connection. Breaking free from the fear of being alone involves learning to embrace solitude and building a fulfilling, independent life. When we develop self-reliance and inner strength, we become less vulnerable to settling for unhealthy relationships. Remember, being alone is better than being in a toxic relationship. The ability to be content on your own is not just a life skill, it's essential for forming healthy, interdependent relationships. The allure of the forbidden has captivated human hearts throughout history. We're often drawn to what we cannot have, finding excitement in pursuing relationships that seem out of reach. Why are we so drawn to what we can't have? The forbidden creates an emotional intensity through the excitement of the chase. Obstacles intensify our feelings, while winning someone unattainable offers powerful validation. The unpredictability creates a rush of neurotransmitters like dopamine. At the heart of forbidden attraction is the confusion between intensity and intimacy. These two experiences feel similar, but lead to very different relationship outcomes. Intensity is characterized by dramatic emotional highs and lows, obsessive thoughts, and is often based more on fantasy than reality. While exhilarating, it tends to burn out quickly. True intimacy, on the other hand, offers a more consistent emotional connection based on mutual understanding and acceptance. Rather than burning brightly and fading, it develops depth over time. Psychologist Patrick Carnes offers this helpful comparison in his book, The Betrayal Bond. While intensity creates a victim-victimizer dynamic with emotional extremes, intimacy fosters mutual respect and emotional security. The psychology behind forbidden attraction involves a complex interplay of brain chemicals. The uncertainty and obstacles trigger dopamine, our reward neurotransmitter, creating a pleasure rush similar to addiction. The drama and unpredictability also release adrenaline and cortisol, stress hormones that intensify emotions. While healthy relationships eventually shift toward oxytocin-driven bonding, forbidden attractions often remain stuck in the high-drama, dopamine-driven phase. To break free from the cycle of pursuing forbidden attractions, first recognize when you're mistaking intensity for intimacy. Question whether the obstacles are enhancing your connection or substituting for a lack of real compatibility. Notice if you're consistently attracted to people who are emotionally or physically unavailable. True fulfillment comes from redirecting this energy toward building relationships based on mutual respect and growth. The fixing mentality represents our tendency to be attracted to people we believe we can change or heal through our love and care. Many people are drawn to damaged individuals or those exhibiting harmful behaviors. This attraction often stems from emotional excitement being mistaken for genuine connection. There's also the fantasy of being the special one, the person who can finally change them when no one else could. This feeds into a heroic self-image, providing a sense of purpose and validation. Finally, focusing on someone else's problems can be a convenient distraction from addressing our own issues. At the heart of the fixing mentality lies what psychologists call the savior complex, a psychological pattern where a person feels compelled to save or rescue others from their problems. This fixing mentality often leads to a dangerous cycle. After abusive incidents, the honeymoon phase reinforces the belief that change is possible, keeping the fixer invested in a harmful relationship. It's crucial to understand the difference between helping and enabling. When we try to fix someone, we often cross into enabling, doing things for others that they should be doing for themselves. Enabling prevents people from experiencing the natural consequences of their actions, removing motivation for self-change. Eventually, the fixer becomes part of the problem rather than the solution. The fixing mentality often leads to codependency, a dysfunctional relationship pattern where one person assumes the role of rescuer, enabling the other's destructive behavior. The antidote to the fixing mentality is establishing healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries mean recognizing where your responsibility ends and another person's begins. To break free from the fixing pattern, accept that you cannot change others. People only change when they're truly ready and motivated to do so themselves. Instead, focus your energy on your own growth and healing. Remember that love means supporting someone's journey, not repairing them. True connection happens between two whole individuals, not between a fixer and someone being fixed. Understanding the distinction between needs and wants forms the foundation of healthy relationships. Let's start by clarifying what we mean by needs versus wants in relationships. This chart illustrates some examples of relationship needs versus wants. Needs are fundamental requirements like trust, respect, and emotional support, while wants are preferences that enhance a relationship but aren't essential for its health. When we rely too heavily on our partner to fulfill all of our needs, a problematic dynamic begins to develop. Depending entirely on a partner to meet our emotional needs creates an excessive burden on the relationship. This often leads to losing our individual identity and ultimately results in feelings of resentment and suffocation for both partners. This dependency often evolves into codependency, which contrasts sharply with the healthier state of interdependence. When needs become the primary focus, a toxic cycle can develop. This cycle of emotions can trap both partners in an unhealthy dynamic. There are several warning signs that indicate when a relationship has become unhealthily focused on fulfilling needs rather than balancing needs and wants. Finding a healthy balance between needs and wants is essential for relationship stability. Setting clear boundaries is crucial for maintaining a healthy balance between needs and wants in a relationship. To maintain healthy relationships, it's important to remember these key points about needs and wants. By understanding and managing the balance between needs and wants, you can build relationships that are both supportive and allow for individual growth. Conflicting intimacy needs between partners often create a foundation for toxic relationship dynamics. What exactly are conflicting intimacy needs? At its core, this refers to situations where partners have fundamentally different requirements for emotional closeness and personal space. These conflicts often stem from different attachment styles. When an anxiously attached person who craves closeness pairs with an avoidant partner who values independence, tension naturally develops. These conflicts typically form predictable patterns. On one side, we have the connection seeker who craves emotional intimacy and feels rejected when their partner is distant. On the other side, the independent seeker needs personal space and feels suffocated by constant closeness. This creates what therapists call the pursue-withdraw cycle, where one partner chases harder for connection while the other retreats further, creating an endless cycle of frustration. When intimacy needs conflict, relationships can quickly move from healthy to unhealthy or even abusive. As resentment builds on both sides, the relationship deteriorates. The psychological impact of these conflicts can be profound. Both partners experience chronic feelings of rejection, growing resentment, emotional withdrawal, and dramatically decreased relationship satisfaction. Breaking this toxic cycle requires both partners to recognize their pattern, communicate needs clearly, and establish healthy boundaries. It's about finding balance through understanding, not trying to fundamentally change your partner. Dialogue and open discussion about relationships can be powerful tools for changing attraction patterns. Our brains form neural pathways that determine who we're attracted to. These patterns are influenced by our experiences and what we've learned to consider normal. When we engage in meaningful conversations about relationships, we begin to question and reassess our attraction patterns. This is particularly powerful for adolescents, whose attraction patterns are still forming. Through structured dialogue, they can develop attraction to healthier, nonviolent partners. Research shows that adolescents who participate in dialogue-based interventions develop greater awareness of manipulation tactics. Group discussions have been shown to reduce acceptance of toxic relationship behaviors by up to 45%. Effective dialogue approaches include guided discussions comparing healthy and unhealthy dynamics, personal reflection exercises, role-playing, healthy communication, and peer-led conversations about relationship standards. By engaging in these conversations, we can rewire our attraction patterns, fostering healthier relationship choices for ourselves and future generations. Self-awareness is the essential first step in breaking the cycle of toxic relationships. Self-awareness involves recognizing recurring patterns in your relationships, identifying personal triggers, understanding your attachment style, and observing your emotional responses objectively. To break free from toxic relationships, you must first recognize unhealthy patterns. These include repeating similar relationship dynamics, being attracted to the same personality types, having consistent negative emotional responses, and falling into familiar conflict patterns. Emotional triggers are reactions that feel disproportionate to the situation. They often stem from past experiences and unresolved traumas. By identifying what sets off intense emotional responses, you gain power over your reactions instead of being controlled by them. Unresolved traumas often drive our attraction to toxic relationships. These past wounds shape our beliefs about ourselves and relationships. By acknowledging these traumas and connecting them to present behavior patterns, you begin the healing process. Self-reflection can be practiced through various techniques. Mindfulness meditation helps you observe thoughts without judgment. Journaling provides clarity about feelings and patterns. Mapping your relationship history reveals recurring themes. Tracking emotions connects feelings to specific triggers. And clarifying your values helps you make decisions aligned with your authentic self. While self-reflection is powerful, sometimes professional support is needed. Consider therapy if you notice persistent patterns or struggle with making changes despite your best efforts. A trained therapist can provide guidance, perspective, and specialized tools for healing. Self-awareness is a journey, not a destination. It begins with recognizing patterns and triggers, addresses past traumas, involves ongoing self-reflection, and sometimes requires professional support. Remember, self-awareness doesn't guarantee immediate change, but it makes meaningful change possible. This awareness is your first and most crucial step toward healing and building healthier relationships. Prioritizing self-love is essential for building healthy relationships that stand the test of time. Self-love is the practice of valuing your own happiness and well-being, acting in ways that support your physical, psychological, and spiritual growth. Contrary to some misconceptions, self-love is not selfish. It's actually a prerequisite for genuine connection with others. Self-compassion is a core component of self-love. It means treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a good friend. Key practices of self compassion include mindful awareness of your thoughts and feelings, replacing harsh self criticism with kindness, and acknowledging our shared human experience of imperfection. Daily self affirmations and journaling are powerful tools to cultivate self compassion and silence your inner critic. Recognizing your inherent worth is fundamental to building healthy relationships. When you value yourself, you establish clear boundaries about how you deserve to be treated. First, your sense of self worth sets the standard for how others treat you. Second, you naturally attract what you believe you deserve. And third, a strong sense of self worth empowers you to leave situations that are harmful to your well being. Self love forms the foundation upon which all healthy relationships are built. Just like a pyramid needs a solid base, relationships need the stability that comes from self love. When you love yourself, you're naturally attracted to respect and kindness, comfortable with healthy interdependence, and you value authenticity in your relationships. Without self love, you might tolerate disrespect and neglect, fall into codependent patterns, and hide your true self out of fear of rejection. Let's explore how to cultivate self love in your daily life. Set and maintain healthy boundaries in all your relationships. Practice regular self care to nurture your body and mind. Challenge negative self talk by replacing it with compassionate language. Celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. And remember to forgive yourself for mistakes. They're opportunities for growth. When you truly love yourself, you create the conditions for healthy, fulfilling relationships to flourish. Self love isn't just a foundation for relationships, it's the essential ingredient that allows genuine connection to thrive. Erich von Markovik, better known by his stage name, Mystery, became famous as one of the world's most influential pickup artists in the early 2000s. He developed elaborate systems for attracting women, starred in a VH1 reality show, and was prominently featured in Neil Strauss's best-selling book, The Game. Neil Strauss's 2005 book, The Game, catapulted Mystery into the spotlight, documenting his techniques and lifestyle as a pickup artist. The book's success created a global community, allowed Mystery to sell seminars worldwide, but critically, his entire identity became built around external validation from women and followers. Mystery fell into the dangerous trap of external validation, where his entire sense of self-worth became dependent on the approval of others. His success was measured solely by the number of women he could attract, requiring constant new conquests, leading to achievements that felt hollow without internal fulfillment. Mystery's life exemplified what psychologists call the grandiosity shame cycle, where periods of inflated self-importance alternate with devastating emotional crashes. He would experience grandiosity during periods of fame and adoration, but triggers like rejection would send him into shame, manifesting as deep depression, making him desperate for new validation to restart the cycle. The most revealing moment in Mystery's story comes in The Game, when Strauss documents his emotional breakdown in a Hollywood mansion surrounded by fellow pickup artists. Despite his fame and apparent success, Mystery collapsed on the floor in tears, expressed suicidal thoughts, questioned the meaning of his lifestyle, and inadvertently revealed the emptiness behind his carefully constructed facade. Mystery's journey reveals the devastating psychological cost of toxic masculine ideals that permeated pickup artist culture. His breakdown illustrated emotional suppression until reaching a breaking point, self-worth entirely tied to conquest, an inability to form genuine connections, and serious mental health issues that went unaddressed due to the stigma. Mystery's cautionary tale provides valuable psychological insights about the dangers of seeking external validation. His story teaches us that external validation leads to emotional instability, while authentic self-worth must come from within. It reminds us that vulnerability is not weakness but human strength, and genuine connections are far more valuable than quantity of relationships. Experts in psychology emphasize that understanding patterns from past relationships is crucial to breaking the cycle of toxic attraction. According to Dr. Lisa Firestone, most people repeat relationship patterns unless they actively work to identify and change them. This vicious cycle keeps drawing many back to the same type of toxic partners. Relationship expert Dr. John Gottman states that understanding your specific emotional triggers is essential to breaking free from toxic relationship patterns. These emotional triggers often stem from unresolved past experiences and can lead us to react intensely in current relationships. Trauma specialist Dr. Judith Herman emphasizes that healing from past trauma is crucial before you can create healthy relationship patterns. She notes that unresolved trauma creates unconscious attractions to similar dynamics. Personality expert Dr. Susan Storm states that self-awareness is the foundation for breaking toxic patterns. Understanding your personality type and specific triggers can help you make better relationship choices. There is a clear consensus among relationship experts. To break free from toxic attraction patterns, you must recognize patterns from past relationships, identify your emotional triggers, heal unresolved trauma, and develop healthy communication skills. Experts caution that breaking these patterns takes time and often requires professional guidance, but with commitment to the process, healthier relationship choices become possible. A startling statistic from the University of Oregon reveals the prevalence of manipulative behavior in new relationships. According to this study, nearly 90% of participants admitted to using affection in a manipulative way at the beginning of a new relationship. This reveals that manipulative behavior is significantly more common than most people realize, suggesting that what may appear as genuine affection early in a relationship could actually be strategic behavior. One common form of early relationship manipulation is love bombing, an overwhelming display of affection designed to create a false sense of intimacy and emotional debt. While this statistic might seem discouraging, it highlights the importance of recognizing healthy versus unhealthy relationship patterns and being cautious during the early stages of dating. University studies like this are crucial for helping people understand common relationship dynamics and make more informed choices about their romantic lives. Recognizing when to seek professional help for toxic relationship patterns is a critical step toward healing and building healthier relationships. These warning signs indicate it may be time to speak with a mental health professional. Persistent feelings of anxiety or depression related to relationships. Difficulty breaking patterns of toxic relationships despite your best efforts. Experiencing trauma symptoms from past relationships, such as flashbacks or intrusive thoughts. Overwhelming emotions that impact your daily functioning. And difficulty establishing healthy boundaries with others. Several types of mental health professionals can help with relationship issues. Therapists and counselors specializing in relationship issues can provide talk therapy, including cognitive behavioral approaches to change unhealthy thought patterns. Psychologists offer assessment, diagnosis, and evidence-based treatment for deeper issues. Psychiatrists can prescribe medication if you're experiencing depression or anxiety alongside relationship challenges. Professional support offers several benefits for those struggling with toxic relationship patterns. A safe, non-judgmental space to process complex emotions. Help identifying unhealthy relationship patterns you might not recognize on your own. Learning effective coping strategies for difficult emotions. Building self-esteem and establishing healthy boundaries. And healing from past relationship trauma through proven therapeutic techniques. Finding the right mental health professional is crucial for effective treatment. First, research therapists who specialize in relationship issues or trauma. Check their credentials, experience, and areas of expertise. Consider their therapy style and approach to ensure it aligns with your needs. Evaluate your personal connection with them. The therapeutic relationship is one of the strongest predictors of successful outcomes. Trust your comfort level with the therapist. This is essential for building a productive therapeutic relationship. Finally, ensure the therapy is financially accessible through insurance or sliding scale options. Remember that healing from toxic relationship patterns is a journey. Progress takes time. Healing is rarely a linear process, so be patient with yourself when you encounter setbacks. Focus on small steps forward. Celebrate incremental progress in how you approach relationships and interact with others. Practice self compassion throughout the process. Being kind to yourself is essential for lasting change and building healthier relationships. Remember, seeking professional help is a sign of strength, not weakness. It's one of the most powerful steps you can take toward building healthier relationships. Welcome to our conclusion on breaking the cycle of toxic attraction. Throughout this series, we've explored how toxic relationships follow predictable patterns that keep individuals trapped in harmful cycles. These patterns are often driven by unconscious processes in our brains, forming neural pathways that guide our relationship choices without our awareness. Many of the factors that draw us to toxic relationships lie below our conscious awareness, like an iceberg with most of its mass hidden underwater. We've learned that toxic attraction often stems from past experiences, unmet emotional needs, and unconscious patterns formed throughout our lives. Breaking free from these cycles starts with self-love and awareness. By prioritizing ourselves, we create the foundation for healthier relationships. To break the cycle, focus on increasing self-awareness, addressing unresolved issues from your past, prioritizing self-love, and recognizing healthy relationship patterns. Learning to distinguish between healthy and unhealthy relationship dynamics is crucial for making better choices in the future. With awareness and commitment to growth, you can break free from toxic patterns and build the fulfilling relationships you deserve. Remember to cultivate self-awareness, heal your past wounds, embrace self-love, and consciously build healthier relationships going forward.